Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel as we are working on the DevOps in the last couple of videos and in this series. So continue on this and today I'm going to show you how we can deploy multi-container applications with Azure Kubernetes services. Uh, it will contain the lab that will contain things about how we can deploy the Azure Container Registry AKS like it is in Azure Kubernetes Services and Azure SQL Server configuration over there. Same as we will do the provisioning of our .NET Core application, which is a My Health Clinic. That is a Docker-based application. It's already exist as a template. We will use that to deploy it as a web application. Then we will see how we can use the continuous deployment with Azure DevOps. So this is how we are going to do this setup as well as testing of this entire environment in this lab section. So let's begin with this. And if you have not subscribed this channel, do subscribe it, as well as if you want to watch the entire series or the previous video, you can also check it from description box. The links are there. Apart from that, the command etc. also I will paste it in the same chat window. What I will do link for this. Okay. We have a link for this where the Azure template for AKS template that we can simply use it from the sign in and all. So I will copy this template ID with you guys also. So you can once you put this URL, you will get just click on sign in and you can see the Azure Kubernetes template is already marked and selected is here. Otherwise, you can choose from the template section also if you want to use it. I will share this URL in the description box so you can take it from there. So let's move ahead and create a type project name here as well as organization information. Okay, so let's type it project name multi-container container app with AKS. Can type any name whatever you want. I just put that. Okay, I do understand, and just click on create to get it done. In the meantime, it's getting created. We have to go and do a couple of more settings like with Azure environment. First, what we require here, a Docker image as a Azure, you can say a container registry to store the Docker image. First, we will create that. Then after that, we will use AKS, that is the Docker image that deployed on the various pods in the Azure Kubernetes service, and the SQL Server on Azure to host databases. So it's creating a couple of minutes to get it done. Let's move to Azure. In the Azure, just connect to the shell and let me check it. Is it shell is working or not? It should set some message or something. Okay, fine. So Azure commands are working here. What I'm going to do right now, uh, we will extract or sorry, we will create these things by using a shell only here. So I will share these commands. You can see the couple of commands are there. So I will share all these commands and with the help of these commands, you can quickly create a Azure Docker image store like as Azure Container Registry, AKS, as well as SQL Server configuration along with SQL databases. Couple of parameters you need to update the things what are in the curly braces, sorry, angle bracket that you have to update accordingly. So first what we have to do, we have to check the version detail information. So let me quickly update this command to get the version information that is ECUS, and because I'm creating it in ECUS, and once I execute this, It will store the information in version variable, then move ahead and create a resource group here. So that is SPL. I'm taking a name here. You can take as per your requirement, AKS RG. It's a resource group, and then I'm going to put a region as East US. You can change the region and the information as per your plan or as per your. Okay, so that has been created. Then need to update the same region information in the next command as well. Here what we are going to do, we are going to create an Azure Kubernetes service cluster information. So the cluster name, what we are going to enter, we are just going to enter a cluster name here, that is SPL AKS 01. It should be unique. Make sure it should be unique. The version, it will take it from here, the variable which we have already created, and then the region is still remain. I am using the same one. You can change the names and values, etc., as per your requirement or as per your things you require. Okay, I have been under this allows us to VM without permanent storage. Okay, it's basically it's saying information, like it's storing the information here. So just keep the file in a secure way. It will take a couple of minutes, so let's wait and then we will continue. In the meantime, we can see uh, our project is completed. We can go ahead and just navigate the project which we have created with the Azure demo generator. So now my multi-controller app with AKS project which I just created, it is here. So let me just go back. Okay, it's taking still few more minutes, so just wait for that and then we will continue. Okay, now it's completed, and it may take around 10 to 15 minutes also, so you can take if it's taking time, it's not to worry, just wait for that. Okay, let me quickly create now Azure container uh, ACR, like Azure Container Registry. So let's put a unique name here also, that is SPL. I'm taking it AKR01. You can put anything, whatever you want, and just updating it the name. Okay, now just re-executing this, sorry, just executing this command, not the re-executing it. Okay, so it's done, and now our next step is, so we have created AKS as well as container registry. Now we have to do couple of like identity access to ACR. So what for that we had to execute these three commands, and we need to quickly update these parameters like AKS the cluster name. So cluster name is this one which we have taken it here, and we have to use the resource group as well as, so in these three commands. So let me just quickly replace these parameter. The cluster name is this one, our Azure cluster name, which we have just created, and resource group is this one which we have created earlier. So let's quickly update these commands and now execute it. So we are just creating two variables here, and third one is assigning a role. So first one is the client ID. We have just extracted the value and then put in a client ID. And now our ACR name is this one, which we have just created. ACR resource group is still remains same. So you can, I'm just tapping it here because you people can also take it from the same way when you are updating for your environment. Okay, now these two executed, and now I'm just going to execute this command. Is it role assignment? So what it will do, it will assign the role that is granting basically AKS granted managed identity access to ACR. Now the next step is I'm just going to create a SQL server here. My region is East US and resource group still remain. I will take it same my resource group where I have deployed all the resources. Unique SQL server name. Please make sure it should be unique and small letters. So SPL SQL SVR01. It should be unique. Please make sure. I'm taking it SQL admin as a username and password is something. Whatever you want, you can also use it. It's up to you. Make sure password should be confidential with you. I'm not putting it a confidential password because once the video get published at the same time, that would it would be get removed, like the entire things. So it will take a couple of more minutes. And what else we have to do then? We need to just put a SQL server name here, the same name which we have taken it here, and just put it here, the name. And we need to create a database. So I will create a database later on once the SQL server get or will be ready. It will again take a few more minutes. So just wait for that and go ahead on this. Okay, so the server is ready and now just create a database in the same SQL server. Copy it and paste it here. The same command. You can change the database name as per your requirement. I'm just taking it. Okay, let me just quickly change the name. Okay, now the server is ready. The SQL is ready. And we just clear it and put the command to create a database. So just give me a moment so we can do it. Putting command here. Okay, so now it's what it's going to do. It's going to create a SQL database in the SQL server. Again, take a few more minutes to get it done. So once it's done, we will continue. So now it's done and just refresh to go to resource group to check it out the information. I think the couple of groups which I have just created. Okay, so here what we have in our uh, SPL AKS RG group, we have created all these servers and the group information. Now the things whatever we need it, like we have created, and you can say Kubernetes service, containers registry, SQL database, and the SQL server. SQL database is running with this SQL server only. So now the couple of informations that we have to carry it from here when we are going to integrate our this project which we have created here, like multi-cloud with AKS repository project. So the information first, MHCDB, we need to take it out the SQL server information and more just so click on SQL, and here what we have, we can see the server entire information is there, and this is the server name. So just copy this name and keep it aside because later on we may require this. I will show you how we and where we have to use this information. So, and then we go back in my database. If you can just click on this DB and you can take the information of server from here also the same. Now we need to set a firewall configuration on this also. So because currently the firewall and everything is blocked for this, we need to allow it. So let me quickly do that. Okay, so by default we can say it's not allowed. Allow Azure services and resources to access this server. You have to allow it from this section. Rest we can keep it as it is and just save it the configuration. If you want to add a specific client IPs, etc., you can also customize that information. And let's move ahead and check out the logon server information that we have to use it. Just go back on this to get the logon server name that would be available in our ACR, AKR, sorry. This is my logon server name. So just keep this also aside. SQL server name and the logon server name. So these two we have taken it from here. So now my environment is almost ready. We have to configure uh, our build and release pipeline. So that must be go through with this project itself only that we have designed in Azure DevOps server or Azure DevOps. So just go back in this project, click on the pipeline, and we have to configure it from here. Okay, now we can see this is my project which is in build template. So let's go ahead. Now quickly edit it, and because you have seen that it's still not executed, you can see the not yet, no run yet. And now just I'm going to put this information. So click on edit. Once you click on edit, you can see the Azure pool information and the agent subscription. All these informations would be available here. So just click on run services, which is available here, and you can see the Azure subscription is asking to fill up the information. Like what we have to do it here. Click on this, and you can see there's a because it will show the Azure subscriptions that we have here, and just click on authorized. So it will map you, or it will move you, bring back to your Azure portal, which you have here. Let me just quickly copy the credentials if I can it. Anyways, no issue. I will let me top it. I can manually type it, no issue. You can simply type and associate it. So it's just in security authentication for the protocol password related to my account, but you can leave it. So now we have just authorized. It is taking 1 or 2 minutes, not more than that. Okay, so now it's authorized and you can see it's mapped here. The basic configuration that I have selected and authorized it with my Azure subscription. The next step I need to choose it the Azure Container Registry. So you can see we will get that. It will take it from the same subscription which I choose to create this AKR. Then you can see the Docker Compose file. The YAML file would be available here and couple of information like it's asking to uh, put the values. So let me just quickly go ahead. Now we have to set a variable section. So just to move and to variable and setting up the variable things. Click on variable. You can see here there are settings. These four settings what we have to configure it here. The first one is ACR, SQL password, SQL server, and SQL user. So let me quickly change it to normal text. Currently it's in locked mode, so I'm just changing it to the normal text, and we have to put the values. The SQL server, so it should be in the SQL server box. We need to put a SQL user. I think I didn't remember the SQL user. The SQL user name is something. It was SQL admin, I think, which I remember. Yes, it's an SQL admin. So let's go back and it is SQL admin and then SQL password. So we have given this password here and then the name of server, this one, ACR. Okay. So all this information I saved here. You must keep this information confidential. Currently, I have not done that, but just no issue. Okay, and just click on save to save this information, not save in queue. Just click as save. So it asking to enter the comment. You can just click on save it. Okay, so we have saved this information. Now we can see the release option in the pipeline. So just go back in the release. Okay, this is what we have. No deployment found. It's fine. And what we have to do right now, just click on exit to view the stage tasks. So we can go proceed to deploy it. Once I clicked on edit, I can, I can see you can see in the dev 2 jobs and 3 tasks are there. So just click on view stage task, click on this and view stage task. So once I clicked on this, you can see the execute SQL list tasks and then create deployment services in AKS, update image in AKS. So these are the 3 tasks. First click on the first task for the deployment. Now we can see that it's asking for the couple of information. Let me quickly choose the subscription. Okay, now it's giving the couple of other informations that I need to choose this here. Choose the second one, and this is the task create deployment services in AKS. Some settings need require attention, so it's basically asking for the attention. So just select the same. It will ask again because we have already authorized this service, so that's why this sponsorship or sorry subscriptionship, so it's giving this option. So I'm just selecting the things here and the Kubernetes cluster where we need to map it. Okay, so these are the things what I need to put it here, and then cluster name. You can see the next option, it's asking about to enter the username or cluster credentials, uh, namespace, and then use the cluster admin credential or what. I don't want to add it something here. Just go ahead and select the secret. So in the secret, it's giving me to a couple of options, like it's Azure Container History information, subscription. So just select it from here, the subscription that we need to use, the secret, and you can see that it's automatically getting it the same, the default one. So you can keep it as it is. It will take the same variable, or my secret key is the default one that is automatically, basically it will be created in background, so nothing to be worried on that. And just go ahead and check in couple of variable section also. Before that, I think third task, update image in the AKS. Let me just quickly have a look on this also and put the same information quickly. The settings that required to be fulfilled here. Okay, let me just check this and click on the variable section. Here you can see the values that we have to just look on the same and need to fill the information for this task also. The same value that we need to put it here, the same which we have done in the previous one. This information we have already taken out from here, the same ACR, copy it and put the ACR value. Database name, the database which we have created, that is mchtb. Think as I remember, database which we have created, yes, it's mhtb, and then SQL password, the same password which we have given for SQL database, and SQL server name, the name of my SQL server, and SQL user is SQL admin, which we have configured. So it's good, and just click on save. Okay, so now the information we have saved it here. The next task, what we have to do it, just go back and run the pipeline so we can see the execution. Okay, now click on run pipeline. We can see here the couple of, it's giving a couple of options when we clicked on run the pipeline. So we have to select it and press OK. Before executing this, let me show you one more thing here. In the container registry, if you go and see the repository, nothing is there. So because we have not, till now we have not executed this. So let me go back and click on run to start this. Okay, now it's started, and it will take a couple of more minutes. Its status is in queue, so just wait for a minute and then we see. Now we can see it's just queued to running. And if I click on job, what it's going, it's taking or it's pushing a multi-cloud Docker application image and it's putting it to Azure Registry. So you can see the activities that are started and executed, and we can see that it will take minutes, couple of minutes. So we will continue once this image get deployed. We can check it out the status from here. You can see the couple of activities that are getting performed, and it also shows how much time it's taking. So just I'm waiting it or keeping the pause here once it's get okay. So we can see now it's completed. Just go back and okay. So just go in the Azure portal and check it out. Okay, now we have this in the repository, the application which we have just created or just uploaded. So you can see the all information, everything is there. Now let's move back here and Azure container repositories and go back in my application app here. Now we can see the task is everything is completed from this section. The deployment in progress section has been completed, and if I go back in the release section and see what exactly we have, so there would be a stage just clicking on failed. So see what exactly it is. Docker running connection details does not specify. These are the two errors. So let me quickly rectify the same. Okay, so the Docker image is not deployed here. So let me go ahead and deploy it. Let me just redeploy it and see. I don't think so. It should get an error message, but sometime it is. So not an issue. Let me quickly check it out. Deployment in progress. So that may take a couple of more minutes to get it done. We should get a task as a success here. It's giving an task 3 to 3 and executing the SQL. Let's wait for a couple of more minutes and see. Because we are taking our deployment, but now might be it's not taking a values or something, because I think the values are correct, but let's still wait for a minute and see. Okay, so after redeployment, now it's getting successful. Might be it's some values that has been not updated or not fetched. That's why it's not taking. Anyways, it's good. We can see now its deployment is successfully completed, and just go to shell Azure and execute a command to validate or merge the credentials. So let me quickly copy the same command. I will also keep this command with in the box uh, description box, so you can take it from there. Okay, now just merging the Kubernetes credential, and now we need to get the IP of this application which we have executed and executing it in a Kubernetes. So let me get the ports information where my service is running at this moment. Okay, so this is the cluster pod where my service is running. Let me quickly take an external IP of this and we will see the application that is that we have deployed from uh, our DevOps demo is actually published with this cluster or not. To get this, you have to execute the command kubernetes services and cfund. Let's take it out. Okay, the external IP is this one. So let me quickly copy this IP address and go to a browser window, a different browser. I'm just opening in a different browser and try to execute it. Let's see what happened with this IP. It must return the application. Okay. Yes, it is not a secured one, but yes, it's working fine. You can see this is how the entire application is. So it's going perfectly fine. You can see the various options are available, and this is the application which we have here in our repository at Azure DevOps. From here, we release the pipeline. We have created a pipeline and release this with Azure Kubernetes service, and in Azure pods, we have deployed this application. We got that error message, but once we deploy it, it's taken successfully. So it's not an challenge. Might be the setting takes time, or it's not refreshed because we have taken a couple of variables setting in deployment time or at the time of creation of this pipeline configuration. So once we redeployed, it's working fine. And now when I taken out this external IP and tested an application, so it's working fine. You can also deploy your own application the same way and same pattern and test it out accordingly. Apart from that, I will do what I will do. I will copy all these commands also in the description box, so you can take it out all the commands from there for your testing purpose. So that's all about this, and I will be back soon with the next video and something new related to DevOps. Till that time, keep watching this channel and do subscribe it if you want to watch the entire series of this DevOps. You can take it from link from the description box, as well as the couple of other videos related to Azure O365 and all exist in the same channel. You can take the list from there also. So thanks so much and have a good day. Bye bye.